Good morning, Rochester. Thank you for making this a part of your day. 5 minutes past the hour at 10 o'clock. I was just talking with Shashi Sinha. Good morning, sir. How are you? How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. I have to say we were talking off air because I think we met briefly a long time ago, like a couple of months ago. And it was sort of like a high and by sort of thing. And we hadn't talked. And then you get to talk and get to know people, and I didn't know you were from sort of the Philly area, originally from India, but from the Philly area.
Correct.
Went to. Did you go to school there in Philly or no?
No, just working there. Job.
Just working, and been in Rochester how long now?
Almost 15 now.
15 years.
15 years.
So a decade and a half.
Yeah.
And you've decided you want to run for mayor.
Yes.
Why?
We have a lot of problems. It starts with safety, housing, and education. And we are stuck in this. But before I get into this, why I'm running, let me tell you how I got into this.
Okay.
If that's okay. It was last October when one of my friends asked me if I wanted to buy property on cheap. Turned out he was talking about city tax foreclosure auction. City had put 2,000 houses on tax foreclosure. And when we looked into it, somebody from the city said, oh, these are mostly bad investors, people who don't pay taxes. We kept looking into it, thinking that there might be properties we can buy that are abandoned or nobody living there. We can help some of these houses. Looked into 7 houses. Turned out every single one of them, people living there, senior citizens living on Social Security. I said, no, this should not be happening.
This wasn't abandoned. This wasn't so. It was people actually living in these.
People actually living here. And some of those folks living there, that house in their family for generations. They grew up there, they're living there, and they're getting older in there. And city is saying, we're going to sell your house if you can't pay taxes. Or offering them payment plan that they cannot afford. I could feel that. This is just wrong. Should not be happening. I could feel it. And that was my trigger point into getting into this. Yeah. But I have lived here 15 years, and I have seen what's happening all around. We are stuck. We are stuck in kind of decline. City is in maintenance mode. We need to move forward. We have to address these things. We have to bring growth. Yeah. I mean, think about safety when we talk about car break-ins, gun shooting. There doesn't go a single day when we don't hear about this. People don't feel safe. And kids, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years, getting into crime. And this is not normal. Yeah. We have just normalized these things. It needs to stop.
So it started with somebody who was like, hey, I have this sort of thing for you, this business thing for you. And you started to dig, do your research, find out more about it, and realize there's some issues here. And then you attached a number of different things because one of the things you're talking about is change is coming, but you're not just talking about housing, which is a huge issue. You're talking education and crime.
There are 3 things: safety, education, and housing. They are interrelated. If you leave any of these 3 things out, you cannot move forward. If you don't get educated, you won't have a good job. That means if you don't have a good job, you're struggling. That leads to sometimes crime. And if you don't have money, you can't afford house. So that's what I mean by you have to tackle all of these 3 together in a big way. Right now, what's happening, we are making small changes here and there, tinkering. It is essentially maintenance of where we are. We have to change all of these 3 things in a big way, bring jobs, bring growth. Rochester has a lot of potential. We have been there before. So we can really improve and make this really a beautiful, one of the best mid-sized city in the country.
Shashi Sinha for mayor. And this is for your Democrat running, and then the primary is the main thing right now, right?
June 24th is the Democratic primary. Yes. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing going forward. And you were just talking about education, because that's something I know we all talk about on a daily basis. What are your thoughts on education going forward if change is coming?
So currently, RCSD spends $1 billion. That's their budget. And we rank at the bottom of the list in the New York State in performance. we have been stuck in this phase for many, many, many years. And everybody tells me that mayor doesn't control RCSD. It's an independent entity. But as mayor, you cannot wash your hands off saying that, no, there's nothing I can do. Of course, you can do something. So I'm not going to take a back seat. I'm going to be appointing a chief of education, a cabinet level position, directly reporting to me, working with RCSD board, working with the new superintendent, working with teachers, working with the kids, working with parents, and bringing all of these parties together, holding them accountable towards the result.
So they don't have anybody, to your knowledge, that does that already, or no?
No, city doesn't have somebody who kind of coordinates education or works directly with the RCSD.
Do you know how you would hold them accountable?
Yes. The very first thing would be focusing on where the money is going, $1 billion. It should be going towards kids and teaching, after school program, summer program. So focus should be kids. I believe there is a lot of money that is top heavy. We need to look into it.
Okay.
Second thing is making sure that kids are learning. Kids are in school. Right now, absenteeism is pretty high. So we need to address that. We need to entice kids and families to be in school, because this is path to future growth. It is path to success. So, no, I will not be leaving education alone. Okay. That is top of my priority. My wife is a professor, and I got where I am because of my education. So, yes, it is really important.
Even though the school board, I can't speak for the school board. The school board will answer that when they address you. When they address you, if they do, the school board itself will just be like, nope, you don't have jurisdiction over here. But working together does have benefits, though.
Of course. In my mind, they will have no choice but to work with and collaborate.
Oh, okay. Shashi Sinha. All right. He said it. I ain't said it. But just understand that this is very important to you, the educational level, because the city of Rochester, obviously it's important to the board, it's important to the community, it's important to everybody going forward wherever these young minds go in life.
I believe everybody means well, but the results are not there.
Okay.
And that's what my focus will be.
When it comes to safety, too, I mean, I can't. Well, your background is in what, like chemistry and business, and
chemistry, math, physics. Then I studied business. Then I worked for a telecom company and own a business.
So how does law enforcement play in it? You know what I mean? Like how would you look at it from that standpoint of crime?
If you look, the crime level in the city, it is really high. We hear about car break-ins every day. We hear about the gun shooting every day, other kind of crimes. So we need to bring down crime drastically. What that also means that we need to move people, give them a pathway to a career. So there are two parallel paths to it. One is go hard on stopping crime, putting police working with community where the crime is happening, making sure that those people get out of that and not commit these kind of crimes. We have repeat offenders. I am all for giving people chances. But if you're a repeat offender, 4, 5, 6 times, keep doing the same things, there needs to be consequences. So working with judges and DAs, we'll have to be hard on it.
Hard on it if it's a repeat thing.
Correct.
But you mentioned off air. I just want to make sure you say this on air that there is a recidivative rate. There are people that keep going back. How do we stop that? Do you have a plan for that? Yeah.
So 2 things. Repeat offender, there are going to be consequences, plain and simple. But if people have gotten into this for various reasons, poverty is a big part of it. So I'm all for giving people chances. For example, very young kids that are out there got into this life, they need to be in school. So I want to make sure they stay in school and not end up in jail or some kind of detention. Also for young people who don't have job, I want to give them opportunity. For example, I talked about building 4,000 housing units. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But providing opportunities so that people have career and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel that, yes, we can have a good life that is not crime. So yeah, crime is going to be important. And it is also important if you don't feel safe. Essentially, nothing else matters. You get into defense mode. And you can't think straight. And you can't progress.
Yeah. You had said before, though, you got into this because a friend of yours brought this sort of idea of buying these houses. But then you have to, and I know you're not just going willy-nilly just go into this. What are you hoping to accomplish as mayor? If I were to say to you, going forward, your number one goal, what would it be as mayor? Because this had to be discussed with the wife. Like this had to be. This can't be just a whim. I just decided to go run for mayor. There's got to be a passion here. That's something you want to fix. What is it you want to fix?
I did not get into willy-nilly.
Yeah. You don't seem like a willy-nilly type of guy.
No, I think things through. I come up with a plan.
I see. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So we talked about 3 pillars. One is housing, education, and safety. We already talked about safety. We talked about education. Third one is housing. It's a big deal. We have become a rental city. 62% of our residents live in rental units. Now think about what happens when we become 62% rental. This is really high, by the way. And it's proven, if you look at the data, if city goes this high in rental, things start to fall apart. And we continue to focus on building rental property. Let's see what happens. We give contract to developers. They bring people from outside to build these houses, rental units. They make profit. They move away. What are we stuck with? Paying rent. What is it in for us, for people of Rochester?
You can move people from renting to owning.
I can move people from renting to owning. And that is why I talk about building 4,000 affordable housing unit for ownership. Not rental, for ownership. That's going to be huge. City has never seen anything like this. Think about we can move 4,000 units, could be 8,000 to 10,000 people moving from rental to ownership. That's about 5% of population. That could change the look and feel of the city. And you know that when we own property, we take pride in it. We take care of it. We build generational wealth. It is very important. Right now, we don't have it. Majority of us. We have become rental property. So one of the other questions that often comes up, how are you going to build it? Where are you going to build it? City owns 3,000 vacant lots. You have seen those 6x6 wood piles
absolutely.
all over the city.
All over the city. Yeah.
All over the city. There used to be houses. They got demoed and just sitting there. So my goal is to use every single one of them, leaving some of the kind of community spaces and gardens that exist there out, of course. But majority of them, we will build single family, duplexes, triplexes, all over the place. And we're going to do this over 4 years. 500 houses first, 800, 1,200, and 1,800 the last. 4,000. And we can build it cheaply. Anywhere. And so let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
City has this Buy the Block program where they have built 24 houses so far and 32 in pipeline. 54 houses over the last, 5-6 years. They spend $535,000 to build one unit. $535,000 for 1,100 square feet house. That's a lot of money, a lot of wasted money. And they sold it for $110,000. I mean, it's great for the families who got it, but it's not a housing plan. It's a lottery.
So you're saying what you would do would be cheaper?
More efficient.
More efficient, modular housing, no basement, screw piles, really nice, efficient, solid houses, better quality than the traditional building. Yes, so we can build it cheaply. We can sell it at cost. Even a little bit of profit. Let's say $5,000-$10,000 profit. So people who are paying $700, $800, $900 rent, as opposed to paying rent, they can own those houses for that money. Wouldn't that be cool?
Shashi Sinha.
One question. So, on the federal level, there's a lot of cutting that's being done. We're talking off air how the Trump administration just announced they're going to start cutting federal funding for public broadcasting. And you also hear about cutting funding for sanctuary cities, which Rochester is a sanctuary city. If you were to become mayor, how would you handle that?
We have to wait and see what happens. But likely some of these funding will go away. So it becomes even more important that we don't rely on outside funding, federal funding so much. We have to grow from within. We have to be independent. And that is when I talk about growth. We have to bring businesses, tourism in, have revenue generation options so that we can fund things that we want to do without relying on these federal funding. It's going to take time, maybe a few years.
New habits, yeah, because it's hard. It's kind of like saying, oh, by the way, you have 4 to 5 streams of income, you lose 2. We're going to have to adjust a little bit before we can get back up.
Exactly, yeah. It's going to be tough if a lot of federal funding goes away. Well, and that is what something I'll be finding on and be smart about it.
I'm saying, under your watch, will you still support Sanctuary City?
It is a question that was asked yesterday, and I take it very seriously. My pragmatic view and my values, how do I balance that out? We have been Sanctuary City since 1986, from what I understand correctly. It was passed by council. I'm an immigrant myself, and fear has taken root in the immigrant community. People who were born here are afraid, thinking that what happens, and this is real. My friends talking about that, what happens if I get picked up? What happens to my wife, my kid? Planning for it already. Day before yesterday, and I talked about it on the other show as well, I was talking with a Puerto Rican lady. She was born in Brooklyn, lived here for 30 years. She's afraid that she or her family members may get picked up. A Puerto Rican. And she's thinking about, or planning on actually, buying a house back in Puerto Rico because she doesn't feel safe. Her family doesn't feel safe. So this fear and this chaos
is real.
Yeah. And me being an immigrant, I can feel it. And think about what's happening around the nation. People who are here legally on visas, their visas getting canceled because they voiced their opinion. People with green card getting picked up and deported because federal government didn't like their views. This is not right. Now, it comes to federal funding. How do we manage that? Should Rochester be a sanctuary city? I'm still trying to figure out that. How do I balance? I very much value the mission of it, that we need to take care of everybody, but we also need to take care of people around us. How do we manage the federal funding, not losing that federal funding or state funding because of it? So I got to be smart about it.
Yeah, well, you wanted to run for mayor. These are the mayor questions. This is what we run into.
And the other thing we have to think about, there are 500 other municipalities and cities that are sanctuary cities. So we are not alone.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's sort of in the same boat if you are a sanctuary city going forward. I wish you the best of luck going forward. In the primaries right around the corner.
June 24th.
June 24th.
Yeah.
I know you know the date.
I know the date. Yes.
Best of luck to you. Thank you for stopping by. This is 103.9 WDKX in the Wake Club.
Thanks for having me.
The